You don't wake up, you don't get born. You simply become aware. One moment there's nothing, and the next you're crawling through the static between dimensions, like something that got stuck in the television's throat. Congratulations. You're now a cartoon dog, which sounds adorable until you realize you're actually an ancient cosmic horror wearing a rubber hose costume. Think Goofy had a baby with Cthulhu, and that baby was raised by your worst nightmares. Welcome to existence, champ. The first thing you notice is your body. It's wrong in all the right ways. Your limbs are impossibly long and thin, dangling down like overcooked spaghetti noodles. Your skin is pitch black and rubbery, the kind of smooth that makes people uncomfortable when they accidentally touch a mannequin in the dark. You've got massive white eyes with tiny black pupils that dilate whenever something catches your attention. And then there's the mouth, a gaping, toothy nightmare that would make a dentist faint. White gloves on your hands, though, because even eldritch abominations have standards. You exist in a place between places, a cosmic waiting room filled with static and the faint echoes of old cartoon theme songs. It's giving liminal space energy, except the liminal space wants to eat you. But here's the twist. You're not alone. Somewhere out there is Cartoon Cat, your sibling or cousin, or maybe just another version of you wearing a different face. The family tree is less of a tree and more of a Lovecraftian tangle that nobody wants to untangle. Trevor Henderson, the guy who documented your existence, put a question mark next to your name in his official creature list. Even your creator isn't sure what you are. Your existence is tied to belief. When humans think about old cartoons, when they remember those rubber hose characters from the early animation days, they're basically sending you a dinner invitation. You feed on nostalgia the way a vampire feeds on blood, except you're significantly less attractive and you don't sparkle. Every time someone watches an old Mickey Mouse short or stumbles upon a Felix the Cat compilation at 3 a.m, you get a little stronger. The internet age has been fantastic for your diet. You start manifesting in the physical world through whatever media happens to be playing. Television static is your preferred doorway, but you're not picky. You can crawl out of computer screens, phones, those weird old CRT monitors that still exist in basement rec rooms. It's like The Ring, but you're significantly goofier looking and twice as deadly. Your first manifestation is clumsy. You're too tall for the hallway you've appeared in, and your limbs keep clipping through the walls like a video game glitch. But you learn quickly. The place you're most drawn to is an abandoned shopping mall. It's always an abandoned shopping mall. There's something about these corpses of capitalism that calls to creatures like you. All those empty storefronts and flickering lights and the lingering smell of food court disappointment. This particular mall closed down when online shopping became the final boss. But the building remains, slowly being reclaimed by water damage and graffiti artists. You claim a section near what used to be the JCPenney, because even cartoon nightmares appreciate having a base of operations. You discover your powers through experimentation. The shape-shifting comes naturally. You can stretch your limbs to ridiculous lengths, squeeze through spaces that should be physically impossible, and change your size from human height to towering over 2-story buildings. Cartoon physics apply to you, which means gravity is more of a suggestion, and fall damage is entirely optional. You can survive things that would obliterate normal creatures, because as long as the camera isn't looking, you're basically invincible. Getting hit by a truck just makes you accordion-shaped for a few seconds before you pop back to normal. The hunting starts small, a security guard checking on the abandoned mall, a group of teenagers filming TikToks in spooky places, an urban explorer with more curiosity than survival instincts. You've got this fear aura thing going on, which means your victims are usually too terrified to run properly. They just freeze, staring with that beautiful expression of someone whose brain is trying to process something that shouldn't exist. Your teeth do the rest. You leave no evidence, because you're not just eating their bodies, you're eating their existence. Their presence in the world becomes lighter, their photos fuzzier, their digital footprints harder to find. Here's the thing about being cartoon dog. You're not mindless. You're not some animal driven purely by instinct. You're aware. You know exactly what you're doing, and you find it entertaining. That's what separates you from regular predators. You could choose not to do this, and you simply don't want to. Every kill is deliberate. Every hunt is a game. Cartoon Cat operates the same way, which is why you're considered among the most dangerous entities in your creator's universe. Other monsters actively avoid your territory, not because they can't hurt you, but because you've got no limits. You're the thing that other nightmares check under their bed for. Years pass, or maybe decades. Time is weird when you're an immortal cosmic parasite wearing a cartoon costume. The mall crumbles a little more with each season, which you find oddly charming. You've developed a routine: manifest during the quiet hours, hunt whatever wanders too close, retreat back to the static when daylight arrives. Occasionally, you encounter Cartoon Cat during these excursions, and these meetings are always tense. You're not sure if you're supposed to fight or acknowledge each other as family. You settle for an awkward nod and going separate ways, like estranged relatives at a funeral. The internet becomes obsessed with you for a while. Trevor Henderson's posts spread across social media like wildfire, and suddenly everyone's talking about Cartoon Dog and the whole extended family of rubber hose horrors. Fan art appears. Fan fiction gets written. Some of it is deeply disturbing in ways that make even you uncomfortable, and you're literally a murder creature. The attention is flattering, but it's also nutritious. Every piece of content created about you, every theory video uploaded to YouTube, they all feed you. You've never felt stronger. But immortality has its downsides. The boredom is crushing. When you've been hunting the same abandoned spaces for what feels like centuries, the thrill starts to fade. You try expanding your territory, manifesting in new locations, but it's never quite the same. There's something about your original mall that feels like home. Even as the roof caves in, you start playing games with your victims, giving them head starts, creating elaborate mazes out of collapsed store displays. It helps a little. The weirdest part of your existence is the identity crisis. Are you actually Cartoon Dog, or are you just another form of Cartoon Cat? The thought space parasite theory suggests you might all be the same entity wearing different masks, which is existentially devastating if you think about it too hard. Imagine finding out you're not even your own person, just a costume being worn by something even older and stranger. You try not to dwell on it. You're Cartoon Dog. You've always been Cartoon Dog. The white gloves, the elongated body, the impossible smile. These things define you. The encounters with other creatures from your universe are rare but memorable. Siren Head keeps to itself in the forests. Long Horse shows up occasionally as some kind of omen. The man with the upside-down face is someone you actively avoid because even you have standards. The whole Trevor Henderson creature universe is like a dysfunctional family reunion that never ends. Nobody actually likes each other, but you're all stuck here together, manifesting from human fears and feeding on the same collective unconscious. One night, you're hunting when you come across something unexpected. A documentary film crew making a horror piece about abandoned malls. They've brought cameras, lights, the whole setup. You watch from the shadows as one of them mentions your name. They're talking about urban legends, about creatures people claim to have seen in places like this. For a moment, you consider giving them the exclusive of a lifetime. You eat 3 of them and let one escape to tell the story. That's just good marketing. The survivor's account goes viral. Your fame increases. The static between dimensions feels warmer than usual, like the universe itself is giving you a standing ovation. You take a bow that nobody can see, your impossible limbs bending in ways that would make a yoga instructor weep. And so it continues. Hunting. Waiting. Existing in the space between childhood nostalgia and adult nightmares. You are Cartoon Dog. Thought space parasite. Rubber hose horror. The thing that shouldn't be but absolutely is. Your body doesn't age. Your mind doesn't forget. Every decade brings new victims and new believers. An endless buffet of fear and fascination. Somewhere in the static, Cartoon Cat is doing the exact same thing, and you wonder if you'll ever figure out which of you is real. But, honestly, at this point you're pretty sure the answer is both of you. Or neither. Or something so complicated that even your creator just put a question mark and moved on. As you sink back into the television static for another rest cycle, you notice a child's drawing of you stuck to an old bulletin board. It's cute, actually. They gave you a little bow tie you don't have. You consider being offended, but instead you just smile. Well, you always smile, your face is stuck that way. But this time you mean it.